The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to a Bill in Boca Raton. Hey, Bill, what's going on?
Not too much. Enjoying the warm weather in Florida just like you, except on the other coast.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
Yep.
Do you listen on the internet right now?
Yes.
Cool, man. Cool.
No, I enjoy that. That's in your Tiger TV and everything. I've been watching you for years, and you've really taken this whole programming to a level that's just phenomenal.
I appreciate it.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Well, welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone's having a great day, safe day. It's a TGIF Friday, folks. Let's make it a great one and a great weekend. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Ask for what you want. Find the courage to ask for what you want. Others have the right to tell you yes or no, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everyone has the right to ask for what they want, and you have the right to say yes or no. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow up 75, NASDAQ up 15, S&P's up 7, gold contract up $32, trading at $1,814 an ounce. Silver up $1.20 at $40.71 an ounce. Platinum up 25 bucks at $1,811 an ounce. Copper down 2 pennies at $3.93 a pound. Light sweet crude down $1.46, trading out at $87.94 a barrel. Bonds up 14 ticks at 139.19. Dollar index up 33 ticks, trading out at $76.60. Euro 137, and the yen is trading up 14 at 76.84. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. Where are we at? You're up $6. The cash S&P, folks, the 31st, the high out there is 1230. The low is 1209. We're at 1216. Now, check this out. We got option expiration, but the bottom line, you couldn't get the price moving, but you got the volume going. You did 1.7 billion. Now, the way that sets up is that the swing point only has 1.2, which is on the 31st. The downdraft on August 4th has some juice behind it. The August 4th downdraft, we came down with 1.8. And today, what ended up happening, actually, we went up with 1.8. So, what does that set up? That sets up, folks. Now, this is where the deviance comes in. You're pushing into a swing point. You're pushing it with volume. When you do that, the bottom line is going to go test that swing point. So the 1230 is still game to get tested here. That's the bottom line. 1230.71. If we go over and we take a look at the SPY, what you have in the SPY is this. SPY couldn't get out of its own way. The SPY, 71 cents. Volume on the SPY was 267 million. You know, what you're doing is that you are going into the price point out there of 300 million. You know, so just those two correlations there are saying, you know what, you get the test and the test is going to be a failure. But bottom line, it still wants the test. Let's go over to the Dow Industrials. We take a look at the Dow. What we have with the Dow is this. Dow Industrials up 75 bucks. We're 11,509. Now, the bottom of the 31st is 11,528. Now, what we did here is this. You went into the bottom, couldn't hold the price, had volume, though. So that's saying that the Dow is also going to try to charge back into the bottom of that swing point. Now, NASDAQ Composite. What we did with the composite is at 26.22. You're over the swing point, and the composite did 2.6 billion. That swing point only had 2.4. So bottom line, you got over the swing, you did it with volume. You're coming into the 4th, and what happens on the 4th of August, what we had done is this. We did 3.3 billion. So what you have inside the composite, it does want to push higher, but it's going to need more juice next week. We take a look at the 3 Qs. What you have with the three Qs is this. We did 87 million shares. That swing point that she's coming into had 132 million shares. You're over that swing. Bottom line, and get to higher price. Now, let's go. We're going to turn around and put this on a weekly. And when you see on a weekly, this is where it gets... We did 387 million this week versus 627. That's saying that it doesn't have enough juice. That's on the Qs. But this test, folks, I suspect what you're going to get is that you're going to get the test and the harmony right across the board next week. What we had in the SPY, the SPY, the SPY went up on 1.4 billion. Bottom line is that that's not even close. It's 2.2 billion on the way down, and on the that's what you're running right into. Now the small caps. Let's take a look at the small caps. This is what you have with the small caps. Small caps couldn't get out of their way. Small caps get to a price point today of 72.03. The bottom of the 31st is 71.90. We got into it, couldn't handle it. Did 72 million shares, which isn't bad, by the way, okay? We put this on a weekly, and what you have on the weekly is that on the weekly basis, we went up on 400 million versus 624. So bottom line, and you're not at the swing. So bottom line, I suspect we'll be in harmony next week. That harmony, folks, will be the S&P catching up, testing that 1230, and then at that particular point, we'll see whether it has the juice behind it. Let's go to Fred in Denver. Hey, Fred, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, listen, it's an honor to speak to you. I wanted to tell you, I'm one of your successful tigers, and the reason that I'm successful, I probably read, I don't know, a couple hundred books on technical analysis over the last 10 or 15 years. I'm a retired public school teacher. And I heard you talking today on your earlier show that if you really knew what you were doing in this business, you probably wouldn't have to work again. And I wake up every morning, I look at your book, I can tell you, you have made every other author is just pales in comparison to your clarity. And I just wanted to thank you.
Oh, I really appreciate it. And well, let me ask you something, right?
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate what you're saying, believe me. What is it about the book or the system that makes it work for you?
Well, I have the first edition, and then I have the brand new book.
Okay.
And I will tell you, the other really good writers are crystal clear. You're not only crystal clear, you do diagrams, and then on your radio show, everything is done. You're a natural teacher. I mean, you are just...
I appreciate it.
It's just unbelievable, and that's why when you get on your boat and you sail, there's many other people that you're going to see out there that are out there because of you, and that's what I really wanted to thank you for.
What a great way! Hey, listen, man, that's a great way for all of us to go into the weekend, particularly me.
Well, I couldn't go this weekend without thanking you because I'm sitting here on the sofa looking at your book. You don't even have to answer my question about mid-cap because I know what they're probably going to do next week, based on your crystal clear analysis earlier. So, believe me, it is an honor, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much, man.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, have a great one. Have a safe one. And, you know, folks, don't Steve and I, we have a show in the morning now at 10 o'clock in the morning. And bottom line, folks, if you get a chance, check it out. I love doing the show with Steve. You know, it's really cool. I mean, of course, I love what I do. That's the bottom line. In fact, you know what's so funny about just life in general, folks, is that I was thinking last night about, well, you're always thinking about life, but in general, I was thinking about, okay, you know, as, you know, you keep going forward. I've been building this company 15 years right now. I want to keep building it out because I'm having a blast. And I was thinking, I says, you know what's really interesting, man, and, you know, kind of what Fred was saying there. It's neat when you can actually get something, number one, that you love, and number two, that you can make money at. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to have bad days, but the reality is if you keep your money management in place, then, you know, you have, folks, the tools in front of you to basically get some real freedom and keep some real freedom. And I was thinking, I says, you know what, man, I'm either going to be I'm going to do four things. until that's it. And that's going to be building the company, trading, sailing with my beautiful wife Angie, or walking my dog with Angie, and having a blast with my family. And when you bring it down to that, it's like, oh man, how good is that? I mean, that's as good as you can get. I mean, it really is. So it's kind of it's interesting in that context. And of course, at certain times, what I've found is at certain times you want to do certain things more. You gotta love life. That's the real bottom line. Cooking, walking into the weekend, walking into the fall. Down in Florida right now, what's happening, folks, it's getting a little bit cooler. And with that, what that does ASAP, of course, is that gets us out more, which is just awesome. Let's go look at the gold contract out here. Okay, so we have what gold is this. Gold today, price spread out there was $17.65 up to $18.25. Now, what gold has done, gold is making its way, folks, down into this price point of $17.05. That's where it wants to go. This leg down here just took it from 1923 down to 1765. Bottom line, you'll see a bounce. This bounce more than likely would go into somewhere about 1825, 1840. Now, how we get into there next week will basically tell us flat out, how much strength it has. Because what we do have in September, which is just dynamite, we have volume at highs. What we don't want is we don't want a test of that volume unless we can get higher highs with higher volume, which we very well could. The way the setup is right now, I'd rather stay in this consolidation for a while. The reason being is that what happens with consolidations is that they actually build a beautiful floor. This consolidation has just started. Now, if we can stay in this consolidation for about a year, I know that sounds insane, but the reality is that if you actually do stay in it for a longer period of time, what that does is that builds up a nice floor for the next floor to happen. Now, what it also does is this. So check out what it also does. What it also does is it gets everyone used to the fact that gold is at much higher prices, and over the course of time, it doesn't seem that it's so outrageous. So picture this for a second. When I was growing up, I used to get milk, bread, and cigarettes from my mother every single day, sometimes twice a day. It cost 98 cents. Now, granted, that was 1960, okay? Bottom line is that, so it's 50 years later. It's 50 years later, okay? Now, but check this out. So milk, bread, and cigarettes now is probably about, what, 15 bucks or something, folks, right? So let's picture this. So you get 15 bucks. So now picture 50 years from now, which goes quicker than you think, milk, bread, and cigarettes is going to be probably $150. So 50 years from now, for all you folks growing up right now, you get 150 bucks. Well, that's 10 times the amount. Well, picture gold. Gold at 1900, right? And put another zero on it. Now, that's not unrealistic. It sounds insane, though. That's 19,000, right? We're going to be right back, folks.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina.